James Jones of Jinx of America, Jacob Ogden from South Orange, who is a force in this age group, and he shoots right out to the front of the pack. Jacob Ogden from South Orange. In 10 is Mark Vengrelak from RF United, Cole Bosley, hip 12, 365 track, Malachi Armstrong from Pocatello track in 12, Wyatt Skibba running unattached in 13, Jonathan O'Hagan from Zoom track in 14, David White from South Orange in 15, Ogden's teammate, Riley Bloomer from Emerald Valley with hip 16, David Lyshenko from New Jersey Strider 17, Matthew Salazar from Oak Hill Racing 18, Sammy Harnett, another one of Jacob Ogden's teammates in 19, Blake Beavers from Etowah Youth 20, Joshua Mitchell from Triangle Champions in 20 with hip 21, and then Turner Kelly, hip 22, running unattached. And I'm going to say Jacob Ogden just without looking up, no offense to the rest of the field. It is James Jones, who we saw also run in Myrtle Beach. He and Jacob Ogden likely to jostle for the lead throughout. It is, actually it's Mark Vengrelak who comes in with the fastest time at 9:32.06. Ogden is second at 9:38.48. Cole Bosley now in third. So it is, and I lost my place, James Jones from Jinx American first, Jacob Ogden in second. Just as we said, Cole Beasley was in third. That may have changed. So Cole Beasley from, and 21 who has moved into third is Kelly Turner, Joshua Mitchell of Triangle Champions, who we saw run well in the preliminary of this event. But it is James Jones of Jinx America, and they are typically strong, Al. We don't see so many of their runners in the in the shorter distances, but in both the outdoor championships and here in the Junior Olympics, we do see their runners in the distance races beginning at the 4x800 meter relay. Okay. So Bart Castle, Al Royster, and later Joanna Hayes with you here at Cessna Stadium on the campus of Wichita State University. I'd love to tell you in cool Wichita, Kansas, but boy, that would be a fib. It has been warm all week. Fascinating the different parts of the country, Mike. We heard two families from Phoenix today say, hey, we've been talking to other families and their kids are having some challenge. It's been 115 in Phoenix, so our kids are fine.
It's been hot everywhere. We were in Miramar, Florida last weekend for the Pan Am Junior Championships, and it was hot there. It's been hot in the Midwest, and I don't think there's too much escape right now.
And as we're back, they now have 5 laps to go. James Jones remains out in front. Jacob Ogden, who's likely to be in the mix at the end, is in second.
Yeah, let's see if Mitchell can hold on. He's been in a couple of races from the final champions. We'll see if he can hold on as well. He's sitting back there in third place. So it is James Jones, Joseph Ogden, and Joshua Mitchell, 1 through 3. So very near them. We still have really 5 runners in contact with the front of the lead. And that's your number 1 time, Verlac from RF United. He's sitting there in 4th. He's going to position himself, Bart, to come over. He can still in his striking range because the top 3 runners have been doing most of the work through the race. So we'll see what Vengerlak can do as he comes off the turn. He's sitting in 4th place.
Well, we saw that very thing in the young women's race where we had Jordan, I apologize, I lost her first name, but we saw her sit behind the runner out in first and then put on a burst the last 300 meters and take the national title. So you're right, Vengerlak may be doing that very thing, maybe allowing James Jones, Jacob Ogden, and Joshua Mitchell to do the work out at the front. They go through 1,500 meters, so they're halfway through the race. We were talking about the fact quickly, Mike, that with young people now from sub-banners clear to the Masters, USATF really has the opportunity to span the entire spectrum of helping people stay healthy.
Absolutely, and you know, it's important to us, and we think really that is one of the greatest things about track and field. It really is sport for life. There are a lot of other sports, you know, you really don't need other people to go out and run. You can train by yourself, you can train with a couple partners, and you have that opportunity at any age, at any time. So that, and there are very few sports that you can say that you don't really need facilities every day to train. You can get out and do what you need to do. So we really think we're the right sport and the right time for Americans, and we'll be sending out that message.
Well, we head back down the front stretch. We will have 3 laps to go. James Jones remains out in front. Jacob Ogden right there on his shoulder. Joshua Mitchell slightly to the outside on Ogden's right shoulder. And then behind them, Mark Vengerlach, who came in with our fastest qualifying time. As we said, it is, despite the fact that it's only 11:40, probably already in the mid-90s. We've had a surprising amount of humidity here in the Midwest, given the fact that they hadn't had any rain. I'm not a weather person, so I don't know how that works. Nevertheless, it is already 90 degrees. So these 3,000-meter races now being run off early in the morning, but this summer in no places.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees, but as a lot of track folks know, it's probably about 95, 96 with the heat index on the track, so it's much hotter on the track. So that 90 degrees doesn't do any justice. It's really warm. As we go back to the track, you see that is Jones on the inside, Ogden on the outside, Mitchell in third. This is going to set up to be a good final. Now, Vergerlach now moving up. He was about 3 or 4 meters back, but now he has positioned himself to come up. We'll see who that 5th place person is. He is sneaking up in there, and I bet you those athletes don't even know. That looks like hip number 21, and we'll see who that is. That's actually, no, it can't be 21 as Mitchell. We'll see if it is hip.
Now Mitchell is being passed there, and we've got the athletes.
I'm sorry, that was actually hip number 2. Thought there was a 1 on the other side. But hip number 2, that is Pollard, unattached.
Shouldn't have had any problem warming up. He's wearing knee socks and it's 90 degrees. So Thomas Pollard plenty warm as he goes out into the front, and he carries with him.
That's Jacob. You know how Ogden will do. He will sit back there. You will think he is out of the race, and then all of a sudden he'll make a serve. And you see Ogden is not letting Pollard get away from him because he's like, I'm not going to let him stretch out that lead on the back stretch. He is about a meter back from him. But Ogden has such an explosive kick as we've seen in the national championships at Myrtle Beach. He's going to try to do the same thing here.
Absolutely, and that may be why Pollard is trying to put some distance between himself and Jacob Ogden, despite the fact we're only in the 13 and 14 age category. I know from talking to people that are in the association and out in California, people have been looking at him lurking and then tracking them down in distance races since he was a little kid. Jacob Ogden, really a force not just in California but the new national track scene. But Thomas Pollard trying to put some distance. Ogden in second, James Jones from Jinx America in third, Mark Vengerlach, who came in as our fastest qualifier, trying to keep them from getting completely away from him, as is Joshua Mitchell, who's now in fifth. Mike, we want to wrap up as we see them head to the bell lap. Thomas Pollard goes past the standard. Quickly, your impressions of this national meet in your first few hours here.
Well, it's a great experience. I mean, you can't say enough about the organizers who handle 7,000 athletes here, and they run them through this event. And you have to have enormous respect for these young athletes. Anyone who ever had their child say to them, oh, I don't want to go outside, it's too hot, or it's too cold, or I don't want to get off and stop watching TV. These athletes are out here in a lot of heat, tough conditions, and they're competing, and they're not making any excuses, and you just have to have enormous respect for them.
We are rounding the final curve, and Thomas Pollard, who went ahead, Al, at about 600 meters, looks like he is going to be tough to chase. Jacob Ogden certainly will put on a surge. We've seen that before. But Thomas Pollard may have snuck up on the field here.
He did. Pollard sat back and let those first 3 runners actually do the work. He kind of sat back, and then he took off. They're trying to surge. Ogden's going to make it interesting. Ogden coming on, I think it's going to be a little too late, running out of real estate as Pollard holds on. But Ogden waited too long to go. If he would have started that kick coming out of the curve and closed within the last 50 meters, I think Ogden would have gotten. So a critical mistake for Ogden maybe cost him a national championship. But still a great run. He comes on with the silver.
Absolutely. So Tom